What's up, everybody? It's Sports Code aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be about the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view review. Now, before I say anything, I just want to apologize for this review being very, very late. I wouldn't say it's too late, but it is late enough for me to apologize. It's just, with university, going to school and everything, it is a bit tough to make videos regularly when you want to, with everything else going on. So yeah, look, there's nothing much I can do about it except do it whenever I can, and now I can. It's about 1 in the morning, so yeah, look, it is what it is. We'll just move on from that. Before we get started, if you enjoyed the Elimination Chamber, as I did, and I did it very much, please like and subscribe. The pay-per-view, for something that was arguably a filler pay-per-view, to be honest, the way that they presented this, no major titles on the line, no Raw or Smackdown Women Championships, no WWE or Universal Championships on the line. This show was really good, and they honestly knocked it out of the park with majority of the matches, and that's what you want from a pay-per-view, really, especially leading up to WrestleMania. The gimmick matches, the Elimination Chamber matches, as well as a lot of good wrestling matches, which is very surprising. You don't get many technical matches like we did today. It was really, really outstanding performances from everybody. Put on a show. Kudos to everybody involved in this pay-per-view, because you knocked it out of the park. For a lot of people that didn't like this pay-per-view going in because of how it was booked, I think majority of the matches made people very, very proud, and everybody should have a pat on the back for that. We'll start off with the first match, and arguably my favorite match of the night. Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. For anybody that might not be aware of Drew Gulak, he was in 205 Live for the longest time, moved to NXT for a little bit. Now he's versing Daniel Bryan at an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And this match was technically beautiful. It was a beautiful match, technically sound. One of the best technical matches that I've seen in a while, really. Like, I know NXT is very good for when it comes to pure excitement wrestling, but there's not much technical wrestling that's out there. No one, and especially no one could do it better than Daniel Bryan. And Drew Gulak has been very known for that. These two clearly have very good chemistry with each other. Arguably, probably the best match of the night. Like I said before, you put these two technically sound wrestlers that also have so much more to their arsenal as well. They're very good strikers, and they showed that, and they put everything into this match. And it wasn't a particularly long match, but it was a very, very good match, very good storyline as well, with Daniel Bryan constantly being shocked at how good Drew Gulak was tonight. When it comes to his submissions and his wrestling, mat-based wrestling, as well as his strikes and his power. He threw Daniel Bryan so hard on his neck. I genuinely squealed. Like, I felt so bad for him. And Daniel Bryan can sell like a... I can't really say that, can I? Daniel Bryan can sell. That's what I'm trying to say. So it was a good match, my match of the night. If it was your match of the night, hit the like button. It was beautiful. What a performance from these two. And to start off the show, this gave me so much excitement for the rest of the pay-per-view. I was genuinely excited to see what happened next, because if that was the starter match, there was so much more to come. And the next match also didn't disappoint. So this was for the United States Championship, the next match. Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. Look, with this match, again, very hot start as well. Straight up with the missed kick and an elbow. Beautiful start to the match. Completely caught me off guard. These two always have good matches. Andrade is honestly a superstar, and it's time for him to get more of a main championship picture than the United States Championship, to be honest. That's just my opinion. He is a quality superstar, and that United States Championship match was superb. Humberto as well, you have to give him credit. He's had killer matches since he's been to Raw, with the likes of AJ Styles and now Andrade, and then Angel as well. So many fantastic matches from him. But again, and I said this in the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, I'm going to say it again. Why does he always lose to a roll-up every single pay-per-view match I've ever seen? He has lost to a roll-up. Why is that a thing? Stop doing that. He's allowed to lose clean. He's not that strong where he can't lose clean to Andrade. Andrade is a fantastic wrestler. You clearly rate him, so I think you're allowed to let him win cleanly, man. Come on. This isn't... you don't need to protect everybody so strong that they're completely unbeatable. He's no fiend. You don't need to do that with him. I think it's completely... And honestly, I think it's completely stupid, to be honest, that he loses every single time from a roll-up. There needs to be more. He needs to lose in a different way. Please, WWE. I feel like it's starting to become a meme now because I've picked up on it, and I'm usually not one to pick up on stuff like that. But it just happens all the time in a pay-per-view match. I've seen the same finish. They all go for a bunch of pinfalls, and then eventually someone pulls his tights and he loses. Like, well, come on, man. Think of something different. You have creative writing for a reason. Write a better ending to a match, please. But other than that, the match was spectacular. I really enjoyed this match, and two very good matches to start off an extremely well kicked off pay-per-view so far. Great pay-per-view so far. Honestly, it was shaping up to be a very, very good pay-per-view. Probably the best of 2019 moving into 2020 as well. So the next match was the Elimination Chamber match for the Smackdown Live Tag Team Championships. So you had, let's see if I can get this right on the first try. So you had Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. You had The Miz, obviously, and John Morrison. You had the Lucha House Parties, which, by the way, I swear they were on Raw. I don't even know what they're doing in this match. There's clearly something I've missed here. But they brought a lot to the match, so I'm not even going to go into that. You also had the Heavy Machinery. You had the New Day and the Usos. I believe those were all the tag teams. If I missed one, I'm sorry. But I believe that's all the tag teams. And this Elimination Chamber match and this match was definitely match of the night for me. Wow, this match was incredible from start to finish. It started off with the New Day and the Usos, and they obviously have a good rivalry. They've had it for years now, and you always know that they're going to kill it when they're in the ring together. Not only that, we all knew that they were probably going to be the last tag teams in the match as well. And they were, and they killed it. Kofi Kingston had a couple of botch moments in this match, but it just happens. You got to move on from that. Nothing you can do. You live and you learn. All of that stuff. Botches are fine, honestly. I don't have a problem with that. What they do in this ring is extremely difficult to do, and I guarantee 99% of people that will try would botch it. So you got to give him leeway here and there. And obviously the Lucha House Party. Whoa, they brought something. They brought highlights to this match. I can't remember their names. I'm sorry. I think Lince Dorado. He climbed up to the top of the chamber, did a backflip right into everybody. That was insane. Obviously, they did a moonsault off the chamber. Everything. They did everything to make this match as entertaining as possible. They played their part in this match, and you got to give them respect for that. Arguably, probably the team that people least cared about in this match. And to be fair, I think that's a fair statement considering what WWE used them for. But they definitely brought excitement into this match. They're fantastic individual wrestlers. They're obviously a good tag team. But more, I think they need a character change up, to be honest, if we're talking about the Lucha House Party. They definitely need a character change up. But nevertheless, they did what they came out there to do. They were the first team eliminated. You obviously had Heavy Machinery as well. They put a good showing, even though they were probably the quickest team to get eliminated. They weren't the first, but they were definitely the quickest. Otis did a madness. He tried to spear or just run into Dolph Ziggler, ends up running through the door, which I don't actually think happened, but the commentator said that. I don't believe that. I believe the door was open. Went through the glass all the way to the outside of the Elimination Chamber. That looked like it was that looked like it would hurt anybody. And they ended up getting eliminated right after that. That's probably the highlight of the night. Like, I've never seen anything like that before, where he actually just barges through the Elimination Chamber, ends up going on the outside. That's incredible stuff. That's incredible, intelligent writing right there. A moment like that is something that probably won't be forgotten for many Elimination Chambers to come, and that's a highlight they can put in every year as something that shows how dangerous the Elimination Chamber is, despite its recent changes over the years of how it's become a little bit safer to wrestle in. But still, it could be dangerous, and stuff like this is just another example of how they can promote the Elimination Chamber to be as dangerous as it was before. So very, very well done on that one, WWE. I really rated that, and it brings more credibility to your matches, man. So that's beautiful. That was a beautiful spot right there. Obviously, the Miz and John Morrison, they were fantastic tonight as well. I love that John Morrison, man. Oh my goodness, this guy is a highlight reel machine. And the Miz is the Miz, man. He is the Miz. He's already gained our respect. He keeps killing it in these circumstances where you'd feel he might not be the star of the tag team, and he probably isn't, but he holds his share. So the Miz, again, does what he does. You had, obviously, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler mocking Otis pretty much the entire match. And they ended up getting eliminated shortly after Heavy Machinery. So yeah, but the ending of the match ended up between the New Day, the Usos, and John Morrison and the Miz. Kofi Kingston went for a suicide dive from the top of the chamber, one of the cells, missed. Miz and John Morrison capitalized quickly, double pinned him. Done. New Day's out. Then the Usos and Miz and John Morrison put on a show. Super kicks, Starship Pain, skull-crushing finales, splashes, everything within a confined time as well, by the way, that they were in the ring. But John Morrison and the Miz ended up edging it and retaining the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Definitely the right move. There's a lot that they could do with this tag team. They could break them up, or they could potentially give them a very good tag team run until, who knows, until they lose it eventually in a few months' time, I would assume. But they definitely have a lot to do. So I definitely don't think it was necessarily the time to break them up already. Let's see where they go with this. They obviously have a good thing going here. They got the fan support behind them as well. So let's see where this goes. And I'm really excited to see that tag team division now. I think a lot of tag teams really stated that the intent of how the tag team should be run. And with more matches like this, it doesn't necessarily have to be Elimination Chamber matches, but you bring more exciting tag team matches like this, and the tag team division becomes a little bit more relevant again. The Usos made it relevant a couple years ago. It's kind of stagnated, but now it's on the rise again just based on one match. So all you need is more matches like this, more exciting matches, more risk takes, more highlights. You'll get what you want out of that tag team division. It'll become a mainstay on SmackDown and for Raw as well, because Raw had a pretty good tag team match as well. So going into the next match, it was Alistair Black versus AJ Styles, and this one was another great match. So far, this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view has been one of the best in years. And Alistair Black and AJ Styles put on a clinic. It started off pretty slow. Obviously, great storytelling with the knee, hurting the knee to force the Black Mass to become non-existent in the match. Obviously, it was basically a 3-on-1 match with just interference from the OC. But Alistair Black, being the fighter that he is, he took AJ Styles to hell pretty much. He destroyed AJ Styles, brutal kicks, brutal knees, put him through a table as well. And eventually at the end of the match, the OC and Alistair Black ended up having a big confrontation where Alistair Black would take all of them on, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And the OC got significantly the better hand on him. And just as it looks like AJ Styles is going to win this match, dong, in comes the Deadman. He appears, he's choking the life out of OC, squeezing their throats until AJ Styles has to react. He tries to go for a phenomenal forearm. Undertaker, being the Deadman, he has all these instincts and all these superpowers, turns around, gets AJ Styles by the throat and chokeslam him to his doom. Then he's gone again. The Phenom does his thing. He comes, He makes an impact and he's gone. Undertaker once again shows up in AJ Styles match. We all know where this is heading now, but damn, it's still good to see the Undertaker. And in these short scenarios where he's just basically costing AJ Styles the match, it's beautiful. And obviously, Alistair Black rises up. Black mask. AJ Styles sold the hell out of that. What a beautiful black mask. One of the best I've seen. That finisher is insane. That's arguably the best finisher on the roster, bar none. And 1, 2, 3, Alistair Black beats AJ Styles in a phenomenal match. Phenomenal talents. Probably, arguably the two best wrestlers in the world today were fighting. And it was on an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. This could be a WrestleMania match in the making. Give it a year. I really think that this could definitely be a match, like a last man standing match or something like that. These two would steal the show. 5-star match incoming. I honestly believe that. Going into the next match, we've got the Street Profits versus Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Shout out to Buddy Murphy, the Australia gang. It was always good to see an Australian compete. Holding the country proud, man. And this match was also really good. Really good matches so far. I think all of them were exciting matches to see, and the fans really reacted to this. Obviously, Philadelphia is a very good wrestling town, wrestling area. The fans love wrestling over there, and they responded very well to this pay-per-view until the end, which we'll get to. But the Street Profits, obviously, everybody loves the Street Profits. A Joel Embiid reference, basketball fan here. I know, I saw that, and yeah, so Street Profits, they came out hot. Obviously, this was a basic match, you know. Street Profits come out kicking, some drastic thing happens. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy take control. You got I forget their name. I can't remember their name, but the two big guys. I'll get their name eventually, but we'll just say the two big guys for now. That are their wingmen. Razor and the other guy, I can't remember their names. How? I don't know. Anyway, you all know what I'm talking about, hopefully. They come in, they try to distract the referee, then in comes the Viking Raiders, and in comes the Viking Raiders to distract, and then I believe someone interferes and attacks Seth Rollins, to which it didn't necessarily end the match, but like a huge impact, and then off goes the Viking Raiders and the other tag team. I'm really stuffing up this match, aren't I? But anyway, you got a couple minutes go by, then you're Kevin Owens, just, you know, being the GOAT, comes down from the ring, comes down from the arena with his popcorn in his hand. He's having a great time. He's eating his candy. He's loving it. He's just waltzing down, clearly, because it's a sold-out arena in Philadelphia. He has to get a seat on the table to watch the action up close. Vince McMahon, that's perfect writing. And then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins, he turns around, he sees Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens, being the honest guy he is, was clearly disrespected by Seth Rollins, throws the popcorn in his face, and then obviously the Street Profits capitalize from there, pushes Seth Rollins into the barricade, power bombs Buddy Murphy through the barricade, gets Buddy Murphy, they pin him. 1, 2, 3. Street Profits retain the title. That's the Raw Tag Team Championships. Yeah, I'm sorry that I basically don't know I forgot half the people that were in this match, but like it was still a very good match. And then Kevin Owens to top it off, when Seth Rollins was screaming at Buddy Murphy because he is the Messiah, he has to criticize the protege. I love this storyline. By the way, with it reminds me of Matt Hardy with Shannon Moore, for anybody that doesn't know that one. Even when Buddy Murphy wins, he gets criticized, but when he loses, he gets even more criticized. If Seth Rollins gets the pin, somehow it's Buddy Murphy's fault, but obviously Buddy Murphy got the pin here. And Kevin Owens just stuns Seth Rollins through, Seth Rollins jumped so high, he basically jumped over the ring. That was an incredible sell. Walks out, throws the popcorn onto Buddy Murphy. There you go. Fine. That was the match. And again, another good match. Another great match. And going into the next one, this one was a bit questionable as well. I'm very happy with the result, but the match itself was a bit subpar. So obviously, this is the Intercontinental Championship match. You got Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro in a 3-on-1 handicap match. Braun Strowman came in, basically was targeting Sami Zayn the whole match, and Sami Zayn was intelligent enough to just run away. Shinsuke and Cesaro beat the living hell out of him. This match wasn't much to go for Braun Strowman. Little to nothing happened for him. Shinsuke did about 3 Kinshasas on him, and one went to the post, which really sealed it off. Sami Zayn gets the tag. Haluva kicks Braun Strowman while in a suplex position. This happened a couple of weeks ago on Raw. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn's the new Intercontinental Champion. I love that. I absolutely love this storyline. Sami Zayn always gets to Braun Strowman. It's like the little nuisance you just can't get rid of. And Sami Zayn wins the title. I think that's his first singles title in the WWE besides NXT. Of course, NXT was the champion, but I think that's his first title for the main roster. I'm not sure. Let me know about that. But it was a beautiful thing. The fact that Shinsuke and Cesaro even let him pin Braun Strowman was something that I was extremely surprised by. Clearly, they have a strong bond that can never be broken until someone turns their back on each other. But Sami Zayn pulled one over Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, he's going to get him. He's calling him names and everything in the middle of the ring. But at the end of the day, this match wasn't the best match, but I don't think it was aimed to be match of the night. I think it was aimed to be exactly what it was, a smash and grab in soccer terms. Smash Braun Strowman, steal the title, run away. That was the match. And going into the finale, the main event of the evening, the Elimination Chamber, the Women's Elimination Chamber, to determine the #1 contendership for the Raw Women's Championship against Becky Lynch. Before I get started on the match itself, is there something I'm missing? Because why was there not a Smackdown Elimination Chamber match to determine who's going to face Bayley? Is there someone facing Bayley at the moment that I don't know about? Because Charlotte is already facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. What's Bayley doing? Is she just going to verse Naomi again? Like, what's going to happen? Carmella? I'm not sure about that. And obviously Becky Lynch being the man, the leader of the roster, it's clearly her championship that's going to be the main event. Yes, the championship was on the line, but it was to determine who would face her at WrestleMania. And let's see if I can get this right as well. So, we got Asuka, then we got Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and Ruby Riott. This match started off well. I'm not even going to front it. There was a lot of highlights in this match. Especially at the start. Natalya and Ruby Riott were fantastic. And I know the fans booed and chanted for CM Punk, but genuinely, I really liked the start of this match. And I was expecting so much more coming out of this match. Sarah Logan comes in. She does her thing. She gets Ruby Riott scared of her. Natalya got a ruthless double knees to the chin. And I thought that really broke her jaw. She also, Sarah Logan, jumped from the chamber onto Ruby and Natalya. Again, I swear Natalya broke her face from that. That was crazy. Like, I really thought she was going to get hurt in this match. But one thing that really took before I get into, obviously, what everybody wants to know about, the one thing that I really was bothered with is WWE did not turn their mics down for these individuals in the match. So I could hear everything that they were doing. And on the pay-per-view side, like, if it's the one thing in the arena, you're not going to really hear it. But when you have microphones in the chambers, right, and they're talking, and then they're fighting so close to the chambers, a lot of the stuff that they were talking about and they're planning mid-match was being spoken out from, and anybody can hear it if they really wanted to listen. Now, me being practically, I have like listening problems. Not necessarily listening problems, but I have selective hearing, I guess you could say. I hear what I want to hear. I didn't want to hear that, so I didn't even bother to hear it. It's basically what I'm trying to say. But I noticed it was there, and for anybody that really wanted to listen, they could hear what the girls were saying. So that was something that kind of took away from the match. I didn't let it, because at the end of the day, I know what this business is, but it is just a shame that stuff like this has to happen. And hopefully it doesn't happen much more in the future. I'm sure there was nothing they could do about it. Otherwise, they would have done something. Going into the next participant, Shayna Baszler. This is when the match kind of went downhill for me. I do have a problem with the ending of this match, and I'm going to explain why. We'll just start off. Shayna Baszler does her finishing move. I'm not sure what it's called. Kicks, very ruthless knees. I love those knees from Shayna Baszler. Then into basically a chokehold, tap out. Sarah Logan's gone. Same thing to Ruby Riott. Finisher, knee, submission, gone. Both of them gone within about a minute. Natalya, ruthless on Natalya. She threw her into the cell. Then she closed the door on her. That was tough to watch, honestly. Like, Natalya already basically broke her jaw in this match. So the fact that she had to have a door shut on her as well, like, damn. Natalya's really something when it comes to putting her life on the line for this company. Jesus. And, of course, submission, gone. At this moment, there was about, 5-odd minutes of Shayna Baszler just taunting Liv Morgan and Asuka, who have yet to come out. Fans were booing. They wanted this match to continue. And not only that, I think they were also booing by the way the Shayna Baszler was just dismantling the roster. And I'll explain why I significantly have a problem with that at the end of the video. But eventually, Liv Morgan does her scream. And she's like, I want to go to WrestleMania. I want this. And all of the stuff she was talking. She comes in, gets about 1 or 2 moves in, and then Shayna Baszler throws her ruthlessly into the cage and ruthlessly into the glass. At one point, Liv Morgan was crying, so it's great selling from her, really showing the pain. And sometimes small things like that really make a match. And when I heard her cry, I was genuinely worried. Like, obviously, I know she's not really that hurt to the point of crying, but still, you know, when they sell like that and they really sold for Shayna Baszler, they clearly rate what she was doing there. I think everybody has a genuine respect for her, as do the fans as well. And it ended up working out really well for her, but nobody else. So obviously, taunting again, Shayna Baszler chokes Liv Morgan from the turnbuckle while staring at Asuka. I really rated that Liv Morgan didn't tap out. There's no need to tap her out. She's brought the most fight to Shayna Baszler. There's clearly something that WWE want to do with her. So making her not tap out is a good thing to happen in this instance. Then obviously Asuka comes. Asuka puts on a good fight as well. But eventually the hurt wrist cost her. And the same thing happened with Asuka, submission, pass out. Shayna Baszler is the winner and will face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. This match was obviously predictable. We all knew Shayna Baszler was going to win. But the problem is she buried all the roster. And for WWE, I'm sure in a couple of months people are going to forget that. But I just have a big problem with burying half. Like, why is this a problem? Why is this a thing with WWE when they just bury half their roster to one person? Doesn't make any sense to me. If you're trying to build a good roster that people care about and people want to invest their time, their money, and their subscriptions to the network into, you need to build the roster up. You don't need to push them down. There were a lot of young, talented female wrestlers in that ring that didn't even get a chance to prove how good they are. And you need more out of the women's, especially because they don't have many numbers on their shows. Like, the Raw male athletes have significantly more numbers than the female athletes. So with the female athletes and putting on a show, yes, they're all very talented, but if you don't make them believable, or you don't make the fans care, then you're not going to have a deep roster. You're going to have a couple of stars that are clearly running the show, and then you're going to have a bunch of jobbers. It needs to have a stability similar to the male athletes. There needs to be a mid-card as well. There needs to be strong individuals that can take it to the top guys or the top women in the business. So yeah, this sucked. Honestly, the end of the matching, the problem I had sucked. I don't have a problem with who won. I enjoyed the match, but I think in the long term, this wasn't the right choice. Maybe it was time restrictions, which is why this happened. But at the end of the day, I had a big problem with this. And I just think if you're going to build a roster, you need to make them You need to make them somewhat believe that they can beat the top guys. And Shayna Baszler, as good as she is, I don't think she's good enough to dismantle people in under 20 seconds. And I understand trying to make her strong. She's also in a very new audience compared to NXT. So there's people, you have to make her believe that she's strong. But it's very hard. I can understand it. It's very hard to make people look strong while not making other people look weak. And it is something that WWE have a significant problem with in nearly every time they try to do this. But Ruby Riott, what's her future after this? Because she basically got buried in 20 seconds. Sarah Logan, she had a really good gimmick. And honestly, she looked really good in that match. What's her future now? Well, are you just going to release her in a couple of months because you couldn't make her a star? Come on. Natalya. Natalya's legacy is already solidified. But that does not going to help her. Liv Morgan, she's obviously something that WWE has plans for. How are you going to make her a believable character that people are going to enjoy to watch if you're making her lose in a minute to Shayna Baszler? Asuka, her legacy is already solidified as well. So this didn't help her, but at the end of the day, she will have a career after this. A lot of superstars in this match honestly got screwed over, I believe. So I'm sure they were fine to do it, and obviously they agreed to this, but I don't know. For me, it was a big problem. They deserve more, and I hope they can rectify this. Maybe the Money in the Bank match after WrestleMania will give them a proper showing. A lot of these female wrestlers, how good they are, because they're really good. I've seen a lot of them from NXT onwards. They are good. Liv Morgan has one of the best characters on the show, not just on the female roster, on the show. Shayna Baszler is the most painful wrestler to watch. When she wrestles, it's almost like she's looking to break your arm every match, and it's fantastic. It's great to watch. Asuka, we all know how good Asuka is. Natalya, we all know how good she is. Sarah Logan is an up-and-coming wrestler that can seriously be something if they give her the chance. Ruby Riott is clearly one of the best female wrestlers in the world. We see it every match, really. And all of them got screwed over here. Anyway, that's the end. Half an hour video. Probably my first ever half an hour video. I need to really work on how to cut things down. But at the end of the day, it was a big pay-per-view. Overall, the pay-per-view was fantastic. I'm giving it a B+. Like, it was a fantastic pay-per-view. I want to thank you all for watching. If you're still here, I salute you, man. Half an hour? It's insane. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Take care, and peace.